what are you feeling approaching tomorrow? What's going through your
Well,
head?
there's a lot of excitement. Certainly the huge crowds of people descending on Rome from all over the world. Just today, crossing the square, I was stopped by a number of people from Boston who have come here, some in groups, some on their own, and of course the number of Polish people who are arriving is just extraordinary. There's such a pride, the Polish people, for John Paul II, and we can imagine too that there'll be many people coming from all over Italy as the day moves on to be here for tomorrow's celebration.
Awesome. So what's going through, why is this so important tomorrow? Explain to, some people who may be watching that are not Catholic. Why is this so important?
Well, for us, the canonization of a saint is always a great event, but the fact that these two popes were so immensely popular, and both of them in different ways had huge impact on not just the Catholic world, but the entire planet. John the 23rd, in calling the Second Vatican Council, initiated so many changes into the liturgy and into the world, and he was also one who really began in serious the Church's ecumenical efforts and outreach to other Christian churches and non-Christian religions. And Pope John Paul II, of course, with his travels and initiating World Youth Day, and the influence that he had on solidarity and freedom movements in Poland and in Eastern Europe, made such an effect on people. As I always say, he's probably the person who was personally seen by the largest number of human beings in the history of the world. So these two men being of very recent vintage, usually a canonization may take place 50 years, 100 years after a person's death, but so many people are contemporaries of these great men, and so obviously there's a desire to be here, to be a part of the celebration, and so there's a lot of energy and excitement in the air.
Definitely. Commentators have said, why these two popes at once, and what could result from this? Could there be, Saint John Paul II Catholics? Could there be John the 23rd Catholics? What's your response to that?
Well, hopefully all Catholics will come together around these popes. I'm sure that people have their particular devotions to one or the other, but I think it's a reminder that the Catholic Church is both, and perhaps having them, their canonizations together, is to demonstrate that. I was kind of amazed. I was at the consistory where the Holy Father announced the canonizations, and I sort of presumed they were going to be separate because of the large numbers, but putting them together, I think, was the Holy Father's intention to perhaps reach out to the Catholics who are devoted to both of them, and bring them together and remind them that it's all the same Catholic Church.
With all your new, recent appointments here in Rome, is it tough to manage the Archdiocese of Boston?
Well, it's a challenge. People have been very patient. The fact I have to come back to Rome every 2 months means, I'm often juggling my schedule, and people are patient with that, and I have wonderful auxiliary bishops who are a big help back in the Archdiocese, and a great staff. And in today's world with Skype and email and telephones, no matter where you are, you're still accessible and close. So that has made it much easier.
And what's the most important takeaway from tomorrow for a Catholic who's here? What, in your opinion, is the most important thing that should come out of this?
Well, the canonization of any saint is a reminder that all of us are called to a life of holiness. One of the big themes of the Second Vatican Council was precisely that, the universal call to holiness. And Pope John Paul II actually canonized more saints and blesseds than any other pope in the history of the Church. And it was very deliberate because he wanted to show that holiness can come in any walk of life, and that it's not just the monks or the nuns or missionaries, but people from families and the various professions and classes of society. So that's probably the most important message of any canonization. This canonization certainly underscores for us the importance of the Petrine ministry, the office of the Pope, who continues the mission of St. Peter to be the Vicar of Christ and to confirm us in our faith and to be a source of unity among Catholics. You know, that the Church, as somebody describes as here comes everybody, but one of the unifying points is the magisterium and the Holy Father's role in the Church.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Matt.
I appreciate it.
Very good.